my channel, welcome. I'm Mad Chen and I'm a digital illustrator. I create Procreate tutorials for beginners. For today's Procreate tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use blur filters in Procreate. So I'm going to use one of my projects for today's Procreate tutorial. So first I want to show you that in layers, I've divided this project into 3 parts. We have the background layer containing space, the sun, and the earth. And we have the foreground layer with the astronaut and his helium balloons, as well as my mascot Soybean, who's an astronaut today, and the reaching new heights sign on the top. And the last layer here is the complete image with both the background and the foreground layers merged together. The first layer we're going to work with is the background layer. And then I'm going to come up here to the adjustments tool, which looks like a magic wand icon. And if we go down the middle of this list, we can see that we have a few blur options to choose from. We're going to choose the Gaussian Blur option. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And we can see that we have 2 options under Gaussian Blur. We have the layer option on the left and the pencil option here on the right side. We're going to choose the layer option. To activate Gaussian Blur, all you need to do is slide your finger or pen on the canvas from left to right, and you'll see a percentage show up on the top bar of the canvas, indicating the percentage of Gaussian Blur that you've applied to your project. If you're happy with the effect, just lift your finger or pen to commit. You can keep sliding your pen or finger to the right if you want more of the Gaussian Blur effect. You can also decrease the amount of Gaussian Blur by sliding your finger or pen from right to left. For our next example, we'll look at motion blur, and I'll be using the foreground layer for this demonstration. So when we click on motion blur, we can see that we have 2 options available to us. We have the layer option here on the left and the pencil option here on the right. We're going to go for the layer option. So with motion blur, the area that we touch first is the point of control for the motion blur effect. We can change the angle of the blur by moving around that point of control. The amount of blur can also be controlled by how near or far you are from the point where you started. If you're happy with the effect, just lift your finger or pen to commit. Please remember that motion blur will reset if you decide to put your pen or finger down on the canvas again. The last blur option is perspective blur, and I'm going to use the complete image layer for this example. So when we click on perspective blur, we're presented with 2 options again. We have layer on the left side and pencil on the right. We're going to choose the layer option. Down here, we're presented with 2 options. On the left here, we have positional, and on the right, we have directional. Let's start with positional. Positional gives us a disc-like tool in the middle of our canvas. This disc serves as our vanishing point for our image. You also have the ability to move the disc around your canvas to change where the vanishing point will start from. We can increase the percentage of perspective blur by dragging your finger or pen from left to right. And just like Gaussian Blur, lift your finger or pen to commit, or bring your pen or finger back down to increase or decrease the percentage of the blur. Next, we'll look at the directional option down here, and we're presented with a larger disc. You'll see there's a tiny arrow in the disc. The direction of your blur depends on where this arrow is pointing. You can rotate the arrow around the disc, as well as move the disc around the canvas. You can increase the percentage of the blur by dragging your finger or pen from left to right. Lift your finger or pen to commit, or you can continue dragging right or left to increase or decrease the percentage of perspective blur. Thanks for watching, guys. Please support this channel by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to Mad Chen. If you have any questions, comments, or problems with Procreate, please leave comments down below because I want to be supportive and help you guys get better at using Procreate and also get better at your artwork. You can also check out my other Procreate tutorials, which I will leave links up above and also in the description below. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next Procreate tutorial.